Hey math class, hope you guys had a great class yesterday with Miss Nielsen. Yesterday you guys looked at lesson 56, parts 1 to 6. Today, in today's lesson with me, we're going to look at parts 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So let's get started. For part 8, I have attached a picture from your textbook, which you will need when answering this question. So once again, we're looking at lesson 56, part 8. It asks you to write the fraction for each description. So each description is written in 1 or 2 sentences, and then you're going to use those descriptions in the sentences to come up with your fraction, which you will then write in the spaces provided on the sheet. So let's look at number A. The top number of the fraction is 34. The fraction equals 1 whole, right? So remember, when we are doing a fraction, your top number is also going to be how many parts are shaded. Your bottom number is going to represent how many parts are in 1 unit. So we're going to need to know this when answering these questions. So if we look at part A, it tells us that the top number of the fraction is 34. So we know that our top number will be 34. And then it tells us that the fraction equals to 1 whole. So what we have to do is find out our bottom number, right? So what number 34 divided by what number equals to 1, right? It'll be 34. 34 goes into 34 one time. So our fraction is going to be 34 over 34. If we look at part B, the description tells us the picture for this fraction shows 13 parts shaded. There are 17 parts in each group. So remember what I said before, right? The part at the top, or the top number, is going to be the parts that are shaded. And our bottom number is going to be how many parts there are in each group. So parts per group. For part B, it tells us that 13 parts are shaded, so 13 will be your top number. And then there are 17 parts in each group, right? So 17 will be your bottom number. So our fraction is going to be 13 over 17. I will do one more for you. Let's look at part C. For part C, it tells us the picture for this fraction has 7 parts in each group, and 7 parts are shaded. Remember, our top number is how many parts are shaded. So it tells us that there are 7 parts that are shaded. That will be your top number. And then it tells us that there are 7 parts in each group. Remember, the bottom number tells us how many parts are in each group. So our fraction will be 7 over 7. So now we have part D and E. I would like you to try those on your own. For part D, it asks us, the numbers for this fraction are 16 and 13. The fraction is more than 1 whole. Because the fraction is more than 1, this tells us that your top number will have to be greater than your bottom number. And our two numbers are 13 and 16. So you're going to have to figure out which one will go at the top, which one will go on the bottom. And then for part E, it tells us the numbers for this fraction are 1 and 6. The fraction is less than 1 whole. So now we're going to do the opposite. If our fraction is less than 1, then our top number is going to be less than our bottom number. So work on parts D and E, and then I will see you guys in part 9. So guys, for part 9, it asks us to copy each problem and complete the question. So for part A, we're going to be adding the fractions. For part B and C, you're going to be multiplying the fractions. And for part D, you're going to be subtracting the fractions. For part A, both of the bottom numbers are the same in the fractions. So remember, when we are adding or subtracting fractions, only your top number will change. Your bottom number will stay the same. So if we're looking at part 9a, we have 15 over 7 plus 27 over 7. So my answer, right, my bottom number will stay the same. So my bottom number will be 7. And then for my top number, all I have to do is add 15 and 27. Right, so 7 plus 5 is 12. And then 2 plus 1 plus the one we carried over will give me 4. So my answer is 42 over 7. For parts B, you're going to be multiplying the fractions. When we multiply fractions, you have to multiply the two top numbers and the two bottom numbers together. So for 9b, we have the fractions 3 over 10 multiplied by 1 over 4. Right? So I'm going to multiply the two top numbers together, and I'm going to multiply the two bottom numbers together. 3 multiplied by 1 is 3. 10 multiplied by 4 is 40. So your answer will be 3 over 40. So now let's look at part 10. Oh, sorry. So what I want you guys to complete is C and D. So once again, for part C, you're going to be multiplying the fractions. So your bottom and your top number will change. And then for part D, you're subtracting the fractions. Your bottom number will stay the same, only your top number will change. For part 10, it asks you to make a number family for each problem and write the answer. So for part A, it tells us Joan had $1.25 less than the cost of the steak. How much money does Joan have? Right, so we're going to do our number family, and it's going to be a difference number family because it has our keyword less. Right? It tells us that Joan has less than the cost of the steak. So the steak will be our big number. Joan will be our little number. And then since it has our keyword, I need to have my difference. Right? The difference number will be right before or right after our keyword. So our keyword or key number was $1.25. So this will be your difference number. Remember, when I'm dealing with money, I need to have my dollar sign and my decimal. The cost of the steak, if we look in your book, I'll attach a picture of it. It tells us that the steak cost $5.20. What we have to find out is how much money Joan had. So we're looking for a little number, which means we're going to have to subtract. I'm going to subtract the price of the steak, which is $5.20. And I'm going to subtract the difference, which is $1.25. Notice my first number has the dollar sign. My two decimals are lined up. All of my place values are lined up. And now for the answer, I need to once again have my dollar sign. I cannot subtract 0 from 5, so I'm going to have to borrow from the 2. The 2 will become a 1, and the 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 5 gives you 5. Once again, now I'm going to look at the 1. I can't subtract 2 from the 1, so I have to borrow. The 5 becomes a 4. The 1 becomes an 11. 11 minus 2 gives you 9. I'm going to just keep my decimals lined up. And then 4 minus 1 gives me 3. So we know that Joan had $3.95. So once again, what I did is I read the problem, I looked for my keyword, and then I figured out what my difference number would be, what will be my big number, and what will be my little number. I had my big number given to me, and then I knew that the price of the steak was $5.20. Then I realized that this is going to be our small number, so I have to subtract. I made sure to add my $sign, line up my decimals, and then I just did a simple subtraction problem to find the answer. So what I want you guys to do is work on part B. For part B, it tells you that the chicken sandwich costs $1.30 more than one of the items. What is that item? So I will help you to organize all of the information. Once again, this is a difference problem because it has our keyword more. So I'm going to draw my number family. I'm going to do my difference. And it tells us that the chicken sandwich costs $1.30 more than one of the items. So $1.30 will be my difference number. So I'll write that down here. Right? We know that the chicken sandwich costs more than the mystery item, so that will be our big number. So I'll write chicken sandwich. We know that the price of the chicken sandwich from our textbook is $3.65. What your job is to find out the price of the mystery item. So you're going to have to look or solve for the small number. So you're going to subtract $3.65. You're going to subtract $1.30 from that. Once again, I have lined up my decimals, all of my place values. I have my $sign for my first number. And then in my answer, I need my $sign. So what I want you guys to do is solve. Once you've solved for the price of the mystery item, you're going to look at, I'm going to attach the page from your textbook, which has all of the items, and you're going to find the item that costs the price that you got. Once you figure that out, right above where you write the price, you're going to write the name of that mystery item. So you guys can pause the video now and work on that, and then I will meet you in part 11. Welcome back, guys. So we're going to be looking at part 11. So in part 11, we're going to be multiplying 2-digit numbers with a 2-digit number, a 3-digit number with a 2-digit number, and then a 4-digit number with a 1-digit number. Don't worry, guys, because we're going to use the exact same method to answer all of these questions. I will do the first one with you, and then I want you to practice doing parts B and C. So in part A, we're multiplying 584 by 20. So we're going to first look at the 0, which is in our ones. And I'm going to multiply the 0 with the 3 top numbers. I'm going to multiply it with the 4, the 8, and the 5. This is going to be really simple because any number multiplied by 0 is 0. So I'm going to just put a 0 there. Now I'm going to use a different color to represent the next number I'm going to look at. I'm going to look at this 2. But since this 2 is in the tens category, I have to represent that by putting another 0. And then once again, I'm going to multiply the 2 with the 3 top numbers. I'm going to multiply the 2 and the 4, which is 8. I'm going to multiply the 2 and the 8, which is 16. I'll put my 6, and I carry over my 1. And then I'm going to multiply the 2 and the 5 and add the 1. So 2 times 5 is 10, plus the 1 is 11. Now I'm going to add these two numbers up, which will give me 0 plus 0 is 0. 8 plus 0 is 8. 6 plus 0 is 6. And then 1 plus nothing, and then 1 plus 0. If you want, you can add in your comma. So our answer is 11,680. I will do part B with you as well, and then try to do part C on your own. we're looking at part B, we're multiplying 56 and 35. So we're going to use the exact same steps. We're going to first look at the 5, which is in the ones, and multiply it with the 6 and the 5. So 5 multiplied by 6 is 30. I'm going to put my 0 here, carry over my 3, and then 5 multiplied by 5 is 25, plus the 3 gives me 28. So that will be my first number. All I did so far is multiply the 5 with the 6 and the 5 with the 5. Now I'm going to look at the 3. This 3 is in the tens category, which means it's not really a 3 but a 30. So to represent that, I'm going to start with a 0. Now I'm going to multiply the 3 with the two top numbers. 3 multiplied by 6 is 18. I will put my 8. And then I'm going to carry the 1. 3 multiplied by 5 is 15. Plus the 1 is 16. You can add in your comma if you'd like. And now all you have to do is add your numbers. 0 plus 0 is 0. 8 plus 8 is 16. So I will put my 6. Carry the 1. 6 plus 2 is 8. Plus the 1 is 9. Add my comma. And then 1 plus 0 is 1. So my answer is 1,960. So now I want you guys to practice doing part C. For part C, you're only multiplying by one digit. So you're only going to multiply the 9 by the 3 top numbers, or the 4 top numbers. So you can pause the video now, and please try that on your own. And I will see you guys in part 12. So welcome back, guys, to part 12. For the instructions, it asks you, for each problem, make the number family and figure out the missing number. So both of these questions will be difference problems. And to help you answer them, you are given a chart. I will do part A with you, and then I would like you to try doing part B on your own. So for part A, it tells us the number of girls who ate hamburgers is 126 less than the number of girls who ate melons. How many girls ate melons? Right? It had our keyword less, so we know this is going to be our difference problem. So I can write in diff, which represents difference. Right beside the keyword less, we have the number 126. That will be your difference number. And then it tells us that the number of girls who ate hamburgers is less than the number of girls who ate melons. That means hamburgers will be our little number because less girls ate hamburgers than melons, and melons will be your big number. If we look at the chart, it tells us how many hamburgers the girls ate. So it tells us that girls ate, or 126 girls ate hamburgers, right? So that will be our second number. So far we have our difference number, which is 126. From looking at the chart, it told us that 126 girls ate hamburgers, which is our other small number, and we have to solve for how many girls ate melons. This will be our big number. In order to find the big number, I'm going to have to add the other two numbers up. So 126 plus 126 equals 6 plus 6 is 12. So I'm going to put my 2 there, carry over my 1. 2 plus 2 plus the 1 I carried over is 5. And then 1 plus 1 is 2. So how many girls ate melons? 252. That is our answer. So what I want you guys to try is part B. For part B, it tells us the number of boys who ate vegetables is 45 more than the number of boys who ate hamburgers. How many boys ate vegetables? Right? So we know this is a difference problem because it has our key word. Right beside the word more, we have the number 45. So 45 will be your difference number. Then it asks us, or it tells us, that the number of boys who ate vegetables is more than the number of boys who ate hamburgers. So vegetables will be your big number, and then the number of boys that ate hamburgers will be your small number. From looking at the chart, we know how many boys ate hamburgers. So you're going to write that number in. So far we've solved for our difference number, and we have how many boys ate hamburgers. So now what you guys have to solve is how many boys ate vegetables. That will be at the end of your arrow, which means it will be your big number. In order to find that number, you will have to add your difference number and then how many boys ate hamburgers to get your answer. So you guys can work on that now. Great job so far, and I'm hoping that everything goes well. See you guys.